So what you're seeing here is the Azure portal. In the Azure portal, you can go to the HDInsight clusters tab right here. Let's add a new HDInsight cluster. You can also add Unravel to an existing HDInsight cluster. When I click on this add button right here, it shows me the options to power up my HDInsight cluster. I'm going to pick a new cluster name, the Unravel demo cluster. You can choose any configuration or subscription. I'll guide you through some of the options you can select. First and foremost, you have to select a cluster type. In this demo, we are going to pick the Spark cluster type. Click select. So now you can spin up Unravel in an existing resource group. Let's select an existing resource group right here. I'm going to bring it up in the Unravel 01 resource group. You can pick any location. I'm going to use the East US. You have to enter a cluster login password. Now you're ready to move to the next step. You can select a storage account. I'm going to select an existing storage account for that we use in Unravel. You can also configure the Metastore and OZ if you will. And this is where you can select the Unravel application type. So when I click on the available applications, you can see the Unravel APM application. We'll select it. We can review the legal terms right here. So once you have done that, you can enable Unravel application on your cluster. So the HDInsight portal shows you the overall cost. Unravel APM will run on the edge node. If you have script actions, you can configure them, or the virtual network. And now you're ready to fire up the HDInsight cluster with Unravel. Instead of waiting for the cluster to be created, I'm going to go back to the HDInsight clusters panel. I already have a cluster that I have fired up with Unravel on it. So once you start your cluster and the cluster comes up, under the Applications tab right here, HDInsight will give you a direct link to the Unravel application. So I've clicked on the portal and I've been brought to the URL where the Unravel application is running. We have a default login and password. The default login is admin and the password is Unravel data. And you can sign in with these default credentials and you are in the Unravel portal. To understand the Unravel portal, the best way is to go to the Unravel documentation that is linked right from the Unravel UI. Once you come in the Unravel documentation, you can go to the right Unravel version. Here we are using Unravel 4.2 release. And then pick the user guide. In the user guide, there is a rich set of information to help you understand and use Unravel. You can start with the Getting Started link, which has videos that have been created to help you understand how to use Unravel. For example, here is a video that shows you how to understand Unravel's Spark application page and identify how you can troubleshoot and improve the performance of the application. So we are back on the Unravel portal. I'm going to give you a very quick overview of the Unravel applications page. So if you click right here on applications, you can see all the different applications that Unravel has monitored in this cluster. Since this is a Spark cluster, you can see all the Spark applications. I'm going to go inside one Spark application. Once you are inside an Unravel application page, you'll see how Unravel is a single pane of glass for all the information related to the application from the time that this application spent running on the cluster, where the bottlenecks exist, the source of the application, how you can correlate where time went in the application to the actual source, all potential errors generated by the application, the logs of the application, the configuration information about the application, as well as the corresponding resource usage by this application. For example, you can see that this application allocated 3 gigs of yarn container memory, but for the most part used very little of that. You can drill down into any level of detail about the application, including information about data skew or time skew in the application, where failures are happening in the application across nodes of the cluster. Unravel's biggest value is that instead of leaving you with graphs and metrics, Unravel analyzes all of this information about the application and gives you very concrete suggestions on what to do to improve the performance of the application. And wherever it gives these suggestions, it also converts them and explains them in plain English to enable the productivity and usability of the big data stack from developers and operation staff. I'm going to go back to the documentation of Unravel to show you how, in addition to what I showed you in the Unravel portal, there is a very rich set of actions that you can do with Unravel, such as troubleshooting Hive, Spark, MapReduce, Kafka applications, creating alerts on problematic applications, identifying applications that consume a lot of resources and lead to overall high cost of the cluster.